This is another damn podcast about digital asset management. I'm Henrik Gyor. Today I'm speaking with Donna Slawsky. Donna, how are you?
I'm good, Henrik. Thank you for asking me to participate in this exciting series, and thanks for doing it.
No problem. So Donna, how are you involved in digital asset management?
Well, at the current moment, I teach a course for the Columbia School of Continuing Education. It's part of the Information and Digital Resource Management Master's Program, and the course is called, appropriately, Digital Asset Management. And I'm preparing for the second semester now, and we usually have between 10 and 15 students at various points in the program, and they come from differing backgrounds. We have people from IT. I've had administrative assistants. I've had executive assistants. Middle managers, but most of the people in the class come into the program with little or no background in this sort of digital asset management or digital resource management.
So you give them that. That's great.
Yeah, it's a lot to give in 15 sessions, but we do the best we can. Yeah.
Excellent. And so you teach this course at Columbia University. Tell us more about this course. What makes your course different than all the other DAM courses that are available in digital asset management?
Well, I think that any course or any seminar or any talk on any subject reflects the particular background, personality, and experience of the instructor, and also the department in which the course is taught. Digital asset management, interestingly, I'm writing an article for the Journal of Digital Asset Management for the fall of 2010, and looking at like your list, Henrik, of higher education courses, and also I've done a little of my own research, and it's interesting, the course is taught in different departments depending upon the school. And like in our school, it's Information Digital Resource Management, where John Horodysky teaches out in San Jose, University of California. He teaches out of the library school. There's also a course at Simmons out of the library school, but other courses are taught out of graphics departments, technology departments. So it depends on your perspective. My course, I think, is unique, of course, because I'm a librarian. That's my background, and I approach digital asset management as predominantly a repository for assets and the challenge being the retrieval and the metadata piece. So that's my expertise: taxonomy, metadata, and I guess so. My course has a focus on that because of my background. However, we do cover introduction to DAM, building the case for DAM, user requirements, and digital rights management, workflow, managing video, image indexing and retrieval, and the DAM marketplace, all that. We also cover preservation, archives, and digitization, which I really think is an important piece for the students to understand that, this isn't only done in corporations. There are also DAM in one very important use of DAM is in museums, libraries, digitization projects for archives preservation. So we do have guest speaker come in to speak about that. The other thing that I think is unique about the course is that I try to make it a very diverse educational experience. So I'm not coming in there and just speaking and lecturing every week. I have a lot of guest speakers. I think it's very important for students to have exposure to people in the field.
That's great. That's true.
So this semester I have like 7 speakers lined up. Expert in workflow. I have somebody from the book publishing area, somebody from magazine publishing, and I even have a couple of vendors coming in to speak. Like I have Matthew Gonering from Wine coming in to speak about SaaS because software as a service, because I find that students get confused about that, as did I when I first found out, knew first learned about it versus hosting versus the cloud, all that.
Sure.
And yeah, so that's, and also we do follow blogs, including yours.
Thank you.
And I ask the students to comment on the blogs using our class wiki. So it's I try to make it, a more diverse than just sitting in a classroom reading your recommended, your readings and sort of regurgitating back what I say every week. I really try to keep it almost like a graduate seminar,
Great. And so you involve the DAM community quite a bit. It sounds. Do you involve them in any way other than having speakers and reading blogs? Is there anything else that the DAM community can help you with the course?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, thank you for asking. One of the things that I'm doing different this semester is that I'm following the lead of some instructors I had when I was taking my master's in library science, which is that we visited a site, like either an archives or a library, and I would like each student to visit one DAM site and interview
an organization
using it. Right?
Using a DAM? Okay. Got it.
That's right. And it could be any organization, small, large, could be a photography studio. It could be an advertising agency, a museum, a library, anywhere where digital asset management is employed. And I would like the students to actually see the DAM in action. It'd be demoed for them, talk to the manager, and using what they've learned, and especially the first half of the course, since it'll be a midterm, ask their own questions, and I'll of course have questions for them. So anybody who's interested or would like to participate and provide a site for us, even if it's through Skype, as Henrik, actually you suggested you could do, they can contact me at Donna Slawsky at yahoo.com. And I would really appreciate, even if we don't use the site this semester, perhaps we could use it next semester. So thank you for mentioning that.
I think it's a great idea to involve the students with actual real use cases and real world cases of DAM. That's a great idea.
Well, it's one of the challenges of teaching, as you know, is you're stuck in a classroom. And, digital asset management, although I really believe it's not a technological solution, I think it's much more. It's about, findability, it's about search, it's about retrieval, it's about being a repository for an entire organization, and also, it impacts greatly on your corporate culture, and also your corporate culture and impacts on how digital asset management is employed. So there's a lot more involved than just technology. It's really important for, I think, students and people in digital asset management to understand that you really need to analyze your organization's specific needs and requirements and not just throw a technology solution at it. And I try to instill that in my students. But it is still necessary to see digital asset management systems. They have to see what digital asset management software looks like. How actually you upload, download, how you would, how versioning works, how all of this, what workflow looks like within a system. So we're going to introduce some demos this semester, but seeing a DAM in action and then putting all of these papers up on, term papers up on our wiki, everyone will have an opportunity to see all of these different digital asset management settings. So I'm hoping that really enhances the experience for them.
I bet it will. So what advice would you have to share with other DAM professionals, or even people aspiring to be DAM professionals, such as your students or other students?
Well, I think, my experience with digital asset management so far, and I think it's most people's experience, is that most people become digital asset managers or involved in digital asset management by not necessarily because they intended to do that in their career. In other words, they were kind of recruited into that position from another position. Either they're a librarian, or they're a manager of a photo studio, or they're in an advertising department of some kind, and they need to, so they need somebody to serve this function. So I think going out there and really following the blogs and like yours and others, and following what's going on in the profession, reading, doing a lot of listening to the free webinars that are available, these podcasts that you're making available and others have made available, is critical to staying on top of what's going on. And you shouldn't feel like you're alone in this, because there's a lot of people out there writing about and speaking about digital asset management. If you can afford to go to conferences, of course, that's ideal also. Really network, get out there, go onto LinkedIn, join the DAM community, the groups on LinkedIn. And you're going to learn most of what you need to know on the job. I tell this to my students. It's not a theoretical. There's a lot you have to learn on the job. So you shouldn't think you have to know everything going into it. Don't panic. It's going to be fine. You're going to just learn as you go along, because you probably know more than most anybody else does going into it anyway, because, they're hiring you to learn. So that's what you have to remember. I would say, enlist the help and advice of others who have implemented DAM projects successfully, but also know that every single DAM implementation is different. And that's really key. And that's what you get out of reading the case studies in the Journal of Digital Asset Management, et cetera, is because every organization has different people, different cultural norms, and you need to really understand that, they did it this way, but okay, well, maybe we can do it. We can use a little from this case study, a little from that case study, and your vendors will work with you with what your needs are. If they're a good vendor. And, also that you can't know it all. So you're not going to be able to be an expert in workflow, metadata, taxonomy, and also the technology and also, be a curator, because a lot of times you need to be a curator. That's what I did when I was at Scholastic. I actually selected the photographs and illustrations to go into the DAM. So, you can't be an expert in all of these areas. So I especially at the beginning of a project, I highly recommend that you hire consultants to help you. There are a lot of really good people out there, so don't feel like you have to know it all. And always include users in the planning, and include users along the whole process of implementation. And even while the DAM is up and running, constantly have your users involved in making it better, giving you feedback, because that's so important for adoption. You need the buy-in from all of your users. It's a big reason for the failure of some DAM projects. I've seen this many times, and you need to keep those users involved. And familiar yourself with metadata, with what metadata is. There's a lot out there on the web about simple explanations of metadata, complex explanations that you can look up for yourself. Look at Dublin Core. It's a very actually simple 15 fields. It's a great way to start with metadata. There's something called mods that is also very good. There's video metadata standards available. You don't have to create your own metadata schema. You can mix and match from various metadata standards. And that's pretty much what I would say about implementing DAM for people who are about to get involved in it. And my students, they're gonna go in at an entry level. DAM is very, as it's very multifaceted. There's so much to learn. Sure. So it's impossible to come out of a master's program or after taking a seminar or a course and know it all. You can't. So it's going to take time to just learn about it. But remember, you know more than anyone in your organization, and you will learn as you go along.
I couldn't agree more. Well, thank you, Donna. For more on this and other topics about digital asset management, go to anotherdamblog.com. Thanks again.